Flagshagger. We talk a lot on this podcast about British values. It's a phrase the Home Office loves. They test you on it. They make you memorise it. But if you walk down certain streets in this country, particularly when the football is on, or when the sun comes out, or simply when someone feels their identity is being threatened by the existence of a falafel wrap, you will see a different kind of value on display. You will see the Cross of St. George, not flying proudly from a church tower, but draped everywhere, zip-tied to lampposts, hanging limp from bedroom windows, sticker-bombed onto the bumpers of white vans. Today, I want to talk about the Flagshagger. Now, officially, this is patriotism. That's the defence. I'm just proud of my country. But let's look at the semiotics of this pride. If you truly loved something, would you represent it with a 2-pound sheet of highly flammable polyester made in a factory in Guangdong and left out in the rain until it turns a sort of sad, greyish pink? This isn't honouring a nation. It's decorating a cage. And it's a very specific aesthetic. It's the aesthetic of aggression. When you see a street lined with lampposts hanging with identical cheap St. George's crosses, you don't think, what a welcoming community of history buffs. You think, I should probably not speak my mother tongue here. You think, I hope my skin isn't too dark for this postcode. It isn't a celebration, it's territorial pissing. It is a dog marking a tree, but instead of urine, they're using nylon. And the irony, the delicious, bitter irony that requires just a basic grasp of history to appreciate, is the symbol itself, the Cross of St. George. St. George, the patron saint of England, a man born in Cappadocia, modern-day Turkey, to a Greek father and a Palestinian mother. A man who was, by the Home Office current definitions, a migrant from the Middle East. If the real St. George turned up in Dover today in a small boat, the very people waving his flag would be the ones standing on the cliff screaming at him, "Go back to where you came from." They are aggressively worshipping a Turkish asylum seeker to prove how much they hate asylum seekers. You almost have to admire the cognitive dissonance. It takes a lot of mental energy to be that historically illiterate. And let's not forget the united part of the kingdom. This aggressive English nationalism isn't just designed to make refugees uncomfortable. It's a message to everyone who isn't English. If you're Welsh or Scottish or Northern Irish, walking through a town that has decided to cosplay as a BNP rally, you know exactly what that flag means. It doesn't mean we're in this together. It means we're in charge and you are guests. It is a symbol that has been hijacked. It has been taken from the realm of history and dragged into the gutter of exclusion. It's a keep out sign disguised as a welcome mat. So, why do they do it? Why the obsession? Why the flag shagging? I think it comes down to fragility. If you're confident in your identity, you don't need to nail it to your fence. You don't need to tattoo it on your neck. You don't need to scream it at a terrified family on a bus. You only build a fortress if you are scared of what's on the outside. So, the next time you see that sea of angry red and white fluttering aggressively in the wind, don't feel intimidated. Feel pity. Because nothing says, I'm terrified of the modern world, quite like wrapping yourself in a cheap flag and shouting at a cloud. In this series, we're going to look at the reality of British culture, not the one painted on flags, but the one lived in the streets. If you enjoyed this segment, or if you feel pity for the Flagshaggers too, share this episode. This is the Book of Refugees. Welcome to the real Britain.